Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, picture this. You know that sudden, almost overpowering urge to just drop absolutely everything? Step outside and go for a long walk entirely by yourself. You leave your phone on the counter, gasp, I know. You leave your friends behind and you just walk. You've probably wondered, is there something wrong with me? Why do I suddenly need to disconnect so intensely? Well, today, we're decoding exactly why you feel that pull. We are looking at the psychology of solitude in motion.
Okay, let's dive into this. Why do you suddenly want to walk away from everything? When you get that urge to just bail on the noise, people around you naturally start asking questions. They wonder where you're going. They might assume you're upset, maybe you're avoiding them, or you're just being difficult. But the reality of what's happening inside your mind when you feel this urge is utterly fascinating and, honestly, completely misunderstood by most people. Society loves to jump to conclusions, right? It attaches these incredibly unfair labels to the desire to be alone. People might assume you're lonely, depressed, or just trying to escape your life. But psychology reveals a completely different story. Wanting to walk alone is actually a massive sign of a highly intelligent, complex mind. You're not escaping life at all. You're entering a necessary state of cognitive recovery and deep processing. In fact, the research offers a brilliantly validating truth. It says you aren't being antisocial. Your mind is actually entering a necessary state of cognitive recovery. Think of it like this. Your brain is essentially asking for a timeout. Not because it's broken, no way. It's because it's working at such a massive capacity that it literally requires dedicated recovery time to keep firing on all cylinders. Section 1. Your brain on footsteps. Decoding the architecture of intelligent solitude. To really get this, we've got to look at the literal physical mechanics of walking. The journey of the solitary walk happens in 3 distinct chronological steps. First, you escape the noise, totally severing those immediate demands on your attention. Second, you lock into a physical rhythm. The repetitive motion of your footsteps creates this steady, predictable baseline for your body. And third, well, because your body is occupied with that rhythm, your mind is finally set free to connect complex ideas without any outside distractions pulling at you. And this brilliantly illustrates what's happening under the hood. The moment you start walking, something incredible happens physically in your brain. Highly intelligent people instinctively take these long walks because the physical act itself fires up the brain's creative and problem-solving networks. You aren't just stretching your legs here, you're affording your mind the physical and mental runway to wander. It's an actual biological requirement for deep thought. Moving to Section 2, the crucible of silence, why your brain craves the quiet. We live in a world that has this intense modern fear of silence. Most people are actually terrified of a truly quiet environment. They're constantly escaping it with their phones, TVs, or just an endless stream of background stimulation. But the solitary walker? They master this quiet. For you, spending time completely alone isn't some empty void you have to fill. It's a powerful form of mental conditioning. It allows for undivided focus and triggers a highly specific, elevated state of mind. So the crucial point is what happens when you enter this deep processing mode. When you walk without anyone talking to you or demanding your focus, your brain shifts gears. Look at what an active brain achieves in this quiet environment. Profound reflection, the generation of totally new insights, and real, tangible problem solving. You definitely aren't just zoning out. You're giving your brain the exact conditions it desperately needs to strengthen its logical structure and dramatically enhance your own self-awareness. That brings us to Section 3, the biological reset, the science of stepping outside. To understand how this shifts from your neurological networks straight into your physical body, we can look at the Japanese practice of Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing. It involves walking through nature, but without rushing. The goal is simply to quietly observe the light, the sound, and the subtle movements around you. You aren't speed walking to hit a step goal or get to a destination. You're walking to just be present in the environment. It totally elevates the simple act of taking a walk into an art of mindful observation. The science backing this up is literally incredible. Engaging in this kind of unhurried, solitary observation physically activates your parasympathetic nervous system. Think of this as the deeply calming rest and digest counterpart to your chaotic fight or flight response. By turning this on, you actively lower your stress hormones, which instantly, and I mean instantly, improves your mental clarity. It profoundly calms the body and the mind, all at the same time.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the time frame. You don't need to go hike a mountain for 3 hours to get these benefits. Psychology and scientific studies reveal that it takes just 10 minutes of this kind of quiet, solitary exposure to completely reset your emotional baseline. 10 minutes! Let's break down this 10-minute reboot. When life gets chaotic or when things just feel super emotionally heavy, your brain intuitively craves a solitary walk. Why? Because it absolutely knows it is the fastest way to physically and emotionally reboot. In just 10 minutes, you lower those stress hormones, you get your mental clarity back, and you hit reset on your emotional baseline. Your brain is a highly efficient machine, you guys, and it knows exactly what medicine it needs. Finally, Section 4, Solitude as a Superpower, Reframing Your Need to Walk Alone. If you take away just one thing from this explainer, remember this core truth. Spending time completely alone is a powerful form of mental training. The next time someone tries to make you feel weird or antisocial for wanting to slip away for a quiet walk, I want you to remember this. You are not running away from your problems. You're actively engaging in high-level mental training. You're treating your minds with the exact respect a high-performance engine deserves. Let's move to how this all builds together. Ultimately, your urge to walk alone is actually a collection of brilliant biological tools. You're using solitude to connect your deepest, most complex ideas. You're using physical rhythm to calm your nervous system. And by doing all of that, you tap into your highest level of intelligence. You're taking your unique wiring, a mind that demands space and quiet to process deeply, and you're turning it into your greatest strength. So go ahead and embrace the quiet. Guard that time fiercely, because understanding the mechanics of your own mind is the very first step to mastering it. I'm going to leave you with this final thought to ponder today. Armed with the knowledge of exactly what your brain is capable of during these moments of quiet recovery, where will your next solitary walk take your mind?